Sunday. Give thought to those in Texas who have suffered these floods. Whatever side you are on the political spectrum, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter here, does it? Quite frankly, children have died, drowned, washed away. But there are some political things we need to discuss regarding that, such as Noah, FEMA, Donald Trump's lame response, basically passing the buck. You see, they didn't get any early warnings of this tragedy. It's tragedy. It's terrible. I can't imagine what the parents are going through, losing a child, in Texas. Whatever I think about Texas, that's relevant at this moment regarding that. But we have to think about it. We just have to talk about the politics and the fact that they didn't get any early warnings. Why is that? Those cuts. Donald Trump and his fucking cuts has already started killing people. In this case, children. Cuts to Noah. Cuts to FEMA. Local people are still looking for the children that are still missing. Can you imagine losing a child like that? Just one minute they're there, next minute they're just gone. Frightening. There's someone who's got, brought up 6 kids. They're all alright, Okay, we've got, there's Matty, who's with us at the moment. He's disabled, he's had his fair share of problems. We've had to do our fair share of work to make sure that he has the best life possible. And he's 42 now. So it's been a long slog, Yeah, it's frightening. The thing is, though, people who vote for these morons who think cutting things like FEMA and Noah and what have you is as though it's a good idea. These crazies, they are the ones to blame. Now, stopping Trump is one thing, isn't it? But that's a short-term solution. The long-term solution, though, is going to be more difficult. It's going to take a long time. For starters, you need to fix the education system in the United States. There's clearly a massive issue there. Oof, yes. It's created so many ignorant people. Ignorant enough to hail Donald Trump, but just clever enough to maybe operate machines, just to be useful, if they are. To work in a factory. To make the multi-billionaires out there even richer than what they already are. Hello, pennies only. Had a very tough week. My wife has been cheating on me with my brother. Oh my God. And they've decided to move in together and take our kids. Oh my God, sorry to hear that. Blimey, that is a fucking difficult situation, that is, isn't it? So yeah, it's not really what this channel's about there, mate. But, oh, there we go, Lamar Jackson edit. Grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit, yes. Now, I'm going to be taking a much harsher approach to this channel since, hello, Ico Site to Hedron. Hope you're well. Because some of these trolls are just being a pain. They really are. I don't want some, but if you start attacking each other and stuff like that, well, then there's going to be a problem. Then I'll just block you. I'm not going to hide you. I'm just going to block you from the channel. I've had a few issues in the last couple of days with a few individuals. So I'm going to have to take a lot harsher stance. Hello, Melissa. Hope you're well. I'm from Ghana, says just 2 dogs. I've got just 2 dogs too. For a break for a sub. What happened to your neck? What's happened to your neck? See, this is the stupid kind of response. So people like that, you say, all I'm going to do, I'm going to click on you, mate, and I'm going to block you. So there you go. Go on. Nothing wrong about German. Hello, Dreamer. Hope you will. Block all the blockheads. Yeah, I'm going to from now on. I've had an issue with somebody who used to follow me on this channel, and he turned into being a bit of a stalker. I think he fancied me. Yeah, so he decided he's going to make some videos about me. Tiny little channels, because it's not really an issue to be honest, but he's stealing my content. That is an issue. So needless to say, I've reported it and I've had it having it removed. Well, it should do anyway. If it doesn't, there's been an issue. But I've managed to find out who he is and where he lives. What is up with these people, right? All these people who want to attack you, they hide. They hide behind the aliases. They don't show their faces when they make their videos. Cowards. There's a lot of them. Just cowards. This guy's a lefty. He's a bit of a sort of a hard lefty, and has got no nuance. Got no. It's not open-minded to anything. He thinks so either you agree with me or you're against me. That kind of person. So just an idiot, really. Hello, Leroy J. Oh, there's another one. See, you gotta get him, aren't you? Yeah, let's get rid of that one. So I'm taking a harsher stance on this now. Because I ain't got the time or the energy to deal with people like that, so I'll either just ignore them or I'll get rid of them. I make myself a coffee, why hell not, This guy used to have a kind of Jet Black kind of vibe. I do love Jet Black, that I do. But you see, these people that own the factories, that own your homes, even if you've got a mortgage, you don't own it, do you? The bank owns it. Who owns the bank? BlackRock and people like that, Big corporations. They're all the ones with the money invested in your house. And if it isn't them, it'll be the bond market, not have you, The money's come from somewhere, hasn't it? Unless you bought it, you haven't bought it. Same for everything. They own everything. And they're not satisfied with owning everything. They want to own you as well. They want to control you. They want to make you do what do their bidding. Buy their stuff. The tiny hats. Okay. This is getting silly. Basically, don't anyone own anything, pretty much, Unless you actually own it. But if you've got finance on it, you don't own it, do you? They own it. They own the land, you name it. If in the United Kingdom, for instance, the Crown owns pretty much most of the coastline in the United Kingdom. Well, I say the Crown as in King Charles. Even before he was king. Cat's Eye Moose, I hope you're well. Curious question. I had to unsubscribe because no one responded to my inquiries. I was restricted, placed on timeout. Well, that wasn't me. So maybe one of the mods were being a bit overzealous. It's actually, if they're working off a mobile phone, it's actually really awkward. You've got that much room to work with. Right, so you get like one, maybe 2 comments, and the little 3 little dots you have to click on are so close together with the other ones. You can so easily click the wrong person, so it can happen by mistake. In fact, it actually happened to one of the mods by mistake. Joe, who comes on there quite regular. So don't take offence because it's if you contact me, you're about to find out one way or the other. But I've seen your comments before, Cat's Eye. So yeah, I do go through. I can't respond to every single inquiry. I get too many. I get absolutely too many. It's just impossible. In fact, I probably reply more than most people with with the amount of views that I get. Hello, Billy, mate. Are you right? Yeah, and he's like, no, I just do it on a more regular basis. I'm not uploading any videos for the next couple of days, so I thought I'd just go live instead. I've got other commitments I got to see to. For a start, I've got to get my house sorted out because I've got family coming. I've also got to get the camper sorted out because the CT is coming up. And I've got to get this fucking door out that I've been building for a customer. So, yeah. Buy cash, be thrifty. Yeah, thrifty is a very good term. Look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. I am pretty thrifty, all right? I do spend quite a bit of money on tech and stuff like that because I use it for the channel and stuff. But I make stuff at absolutely nothing effectively. I do a lot of palette projects and, like, for instance, in hair, you can't see it, but in hair, everything in hair is done in recycled materials. That's all recycled materials. Everything's recycled materials. These are all tools that, that I don't use anymore because I've got so many. All the shelves over there is all pallet wood that I've cleaned up and sanded, painted, sanded back again to get a bit of a finish. Everything pretty much is recycled. The door that you can't see it, there's a door there for which is one that I've recycled. The door over here is actually made of chipboard, and I kind of cleaned it all up and used pallet wood and what have you in it as well, and that looks really cool. It's fucking heavy and all. I tend to just make something out of nothing because I can. All right, I've got the skills to do it. I've been doing woodworking since professionally since 1980. Actually, I was self-employed in 1989, so when I first became self-employed. But I've always done woodwork. My father was a master craftsman and a boot builder, so yeah. And then I went to college. Then I went to university. When I did vids for movies and stuff, I didn't show my face. But reason was I have an elderly mum I care for, so I better keep her safe from me. And the fight's worth it, but doesn't make that choice. Yeah, but you're not attacking people necessarily, are you? You know, this individual's trying to attack me and hiding behind his camera. Now, I understand with politicians and stuff like that, that's, you want to attack, but, the whole thing is though, if you're just going to be nasty and attack somebody, just for the sake of being nasty and just attacking someone, well, not even necessarily even having the point of view, it's just like, oh, that'll do, I'll have that, all these different kind of things. One of the attacks was, oh, he's so lazy, he just sits on the sofa. I thought, what? This channel, I have made, there's been days I've made 20 odd videos, and not necessarily just sit on the sofa. Some of them have been edited and all sorts of shit. If you go back on a lot of my videos, there's a lot of edited videos there, there's a lot of unedited videos there, there's a lot of live streams there. There's shit, for Christ's sake, there's over 3,000 videos on this channel. If that is lazy, I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's stupid stuff like that. It's just really pathetic. And this guy is a hard lefty, but he's very arrogant and very opinionated. And the problem with people like that is they don't know nuance and they don't listen to anybody. They only listen to themselves. They just their own point of view, and that's the only one they care about. Hello, Jeannie Letty, hope you're well. What time is it for me today? Currently, it is 1 for. No, it's not. That clock's wrong. Is that true? It's 2 o'clock. 10 past 2. Yeah, but you got a valid reason, brimstones. That's fair enough, isn't it? So this is the kind of stupidness you get. Like, are you gay? No. I'm married and I got 6 kids. What difference would it make if I was? I'm not homophobic, unlike you. So there you go. Hello, Jane. And Billy. Yeah, it's quite easy, Catslow. Yeah, it's very true. It's very easy for a mod to accidentally click the wrong buttons. because people have done it on this channel. And then, like I said, it actually happened to one of the mods on this channel. He got really offended, actually. He thought it was done on purpose, but it was an accident. But he came back. He's still there. Yes, there's a lot of gay interest in the chat. That's it. They're basically these individuals. They're coming out of the closet, they are. So, they try to keep the chats clean and friendly. That's the best way. Otherwise, they're just going to just get rid of people. Because if they're not adding anything, what's the point? What's the point? No whatsoever, is there? So, let's say, for instance, you did manage to get rid of the orange buffoon, which I had my doubts, until he begs it. How are you going to solve the situation with the people that, quite frankly, they ain't too bright? I've just come across so many of them now. They ain't too bright. Is there going to be some kind of mass marketing for re-education? I think we need to control some of this so-called social media that they call it, alternative media. I think some levy has to be put on to the fact that facts must be spoken. If you are going to be spreading information as though it's news, facts must be spoken, not opinions or feelings, facts. Otherwise, you're just hiding nothing. You're just going to keep... Right, Caroline? Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive, I am, my darling.
Well, you're alive and you're alive.
I'm alive and I'm alive, I am.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to alive for about an hour, I think.
Got a coffee?
No, I got a coffee, yeah.
Out of your machine?
Out of my machine.
Oh, it's okay then, you won't want one then?
Not at the moment, no. No, I'm all right at the moment, darling. You okay?
Yeah, I keep trying to go outside, but it's...
It's raining.
Raining.
Yes, you've got rain.
Well, it's only a drizzly rain, that's nothing sort of... just.
Yeah.
But it's getting a bit breezy out there as well.
Might end up with a storm. Yeah. Might do. Make a change. Yeah. It's been so hot here. Crikey. The grass has gone to a crisp. It literally crunches when you walk over it now. Frodo Baggins is coming to town, apparently. 50 is always good. Yeah, I tend to try and save money where I can. You have to. The thing is, when you do these kind of things like YouTube and stuff like that, it's not as though you're going to... Oh, shit, gone too dark. It's not going to make you rich. Unless you're in big channels, it just isn't. You just got to live with it, really, haven't you? So, I'm quite fortunate here that we don't have to earn too much. No, I didn't go to church today because I'm not interested in that. Nope. Most wars are fought around bloody religion. Look at Israel, for instance. You're supposed to worship Israel. If you don't worship Israel, you're going to go to hell. And these people are committing genocide. It's just such an oxymoron. What is it about religion and those who push it hard? I understand if you're just light-hearted and you don't try and force it on other people and shit like that, but it makes you feel better about stuff, or maybe maybe it helps you have a clearer head. Okay, it's fair enough. That's your thing. I ain't got no problem with that. Why would I? It's none of my business, is it? It's none of my business. Just don't try to push it on me, because I'm not interested. I really am not interested. So no, I did not go to church today. The only time I go to church is to admire the architecture, to have a look at the woodwork, or have a look at the poo carvings and stuff like that. That's the stuff I'm interested in as a woodworker and a creative person. I like to see the creative efforts. That's it. That I do respect. Because they are beautiful buildings, there's no doubt about that. No, I didn't build my own house. This is effectively a set, all right? I've got two little rooms here that I use for my videos at the moment. And I built these two little rooms. In fact, this part of the room I built out of pallets and then sheeted it with chipboard. All stuff that I reclaimed. And that room there's plasterboarded through there. But in there I got my lasers. In here I got some woodwork and stuff over there for some videos. And this little seating area here. So this is not a part of my house. It's not a garden shed or anything. I'm actually in the barn of the house. This is built within the barn. So okay, I'll spoil the favour there, haven't I? Okay, you thought it was my house, but my house is very woody, as in it's a stone building, old stone farmhouse, and there's a lot of obviously wood and then beams and stuff like that. But also I've added a hell of a lot of beams and wood and shit to it as well. Not fake, real. You know what I mean? Done for purpose. I can't stand fake. I really can't. I hate fake finishes. I hate things like laminate flooring and all that sort of shit. Something I don't mind it if it's not trying to be wood. If it's some kind of printed thing to look like wood, I hate it with vengeance. I really do. It's fake. It's not real. So I didn't build this house. I renovated this house, but saying that I have built houses, several in fact, and extensions, loft conversions, and because I was, yeah, it's not a church. Amen. Hello, Mad Monk. Hope you're well, my friend. Politics should always be separate from church. If it's something that if it makes you feel better about yourself, by all means, do what you want to do. It's your business. It's your business. So, anyways, a lot's been going on. We've got obviously the very sad news, but children have died in Texas, which is horrendous. I can't imagine losing one of my kids. I don't think anyone can they? But just to see your child just being swept away by all this water, and then they just couldn't get to him in time. It's beyond cruel, isn't it? Horrendous. Politics shouldn't even come into it, should it? Yeah, but they didn't get they weren't warned. They didn't get the warnings. That is politics. This is due to cuts, staffing cuts, and funding cuts. Cuts to NOAA, cuts to FEMA. Now, Donald Trump, what did he put on his fucking Truth Social here? He mentioned something about Texas, probably because it's his friend is the governor there, another bloody fascist. Oh, there you go. The Trump administration is working with state and local officials. There's no evidence of that, by the way. Just so you know, there's no one there. It's just the state itself have to do what they do, and they're handling it themselves. In Texas, in response to the tragic flooding that took place yesterday, our Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, will be there shortly. Well, she's going to probably trying to probably be arresting people to trying to help. I wonder if she's going to cosplay. Hopefully she doesn't do cosplay and actually drowns. That would be something quite nice, She'll be careful actually with all the water there. Her face will run off. So Kristi Noem will be there shortly. Melania and I are praying for all the families impacted by this horrible tragedy. Why haven't you gone there? If this was Biden, if Biden was the president, he'll be getting criticised right at this moment because he hadn't turned up, because he hadn't gone there. He would be. The shoe's on the other foot. It's ridiculous. Our brave first responders are on site doing what they do best. God bless the families and God bless Texas. So weak. And then you was going on about the bill earlier in regarding immigrants and stuff. And I thought, what about Melania? You can deport her. Oh, I forgot, she's got her Einstein citizenship, hasn't she? That man is unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. He's the worst of the worst, he is. But, you know, for some reason, there's people out there who love him. Takes all sorts, it does, yeah. It's no stranger than folk. Some of the video footage, I think that the Wharfe is the fastest rising river in England. So I'm from Norfolk, okay? We have got Norfolk Broads, mate. There's a lot of water, effectively. Some of them are man-made, some of them natural. The rivers and the Broads, yeah, basically peat. They were diggings for peat and what have you. And the times I've worked in loads of boatyards in the past, right? I'm a woodworker. I used to help my dad sometimes, and I've had times that we've had the water so high in the sheds, the risk of the boat floating in the shed. You know, you got all your leads and cables. They're all like, remember, this is before RCDs and stuff were really a big thing. We just have cables all strung up on ropes, you know, so they're not laying in the water. And they are working in these boats. And then you've got waders on to get from one boat to the next. If you can't get deals from one to the next. So you just literally you're working with electric tools above all this water. You might as well be in the river. It was that bad. It seems that anyone that has the Trump stink on them gets the 70s crappy quality effect on them. Yes, it does appear that way. Now, the thing is, though, with some of these people, now, we're going about, obviously, those on the right, the MAGA and all that. You know, let's be honest, a lot of them on the hard left, they're not much better. As soon as you go too far to the left, you're effectively shaking hands with them on the right. Because they're hateful people. And them on the right, hard right, are hateful people. All they want to do is attack all the time and don't really want to give anything. The USA has an odd notion of how they see someone, yes. It's not who you are and your accomplishments and pedigree. It's your skill, colour. Your political affinity that defines who you are. Oh my God, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Yes, Jess Suave. Centrist views are more understandable. They make more sense. I'll say I'm a bit left of centre personally. I'm not a lefty. I'm certainly not right. I don't think I'm centre. I'd say I'm left of centre. In old school, because everyone seems to move to the right, it seems. But anyway, apart from the hard left. I'm a bit of a capitalist, but I also believe that, you know, against greed and shit like that, and obviously not hurting people. You know, it's just to be an ordinary. I want to be ordinary. You know, just an ordinary citizen. I just want to get by. I want to be able to pay my bills. I want to be able to get up in the morning and think, oh, I'm not dead. You know, I want my kids and my family to be safe. I want to keep a roof over our heads. I don't, you know. But some people they're not, even though they've got absolutely nothing themselves, all they want to do is attack others for their own inadequacy, you know, their own ability to achieve anything. And that I find, it's rather sad, really, isn't it? You know, it is rather sad. Like certain individuals who making stupid videos about me. Now, one of them's actually, I don't got a problem. He's some of the videos are really funny, even though they're attacking me. I don't mind. But this other person, it's just hate. It's just full of hate, and I get it all the while. So you get a bit used to it, to be honest. You know, get it long in the tooth with it all. But it's somebody that you had on your channel, and it just took a grumble because you got too much, and I had to hide them. So it's not the first time this has happened. Someone else did this to me as well, where I had to hide somebody on the channel because they were being a nuisance and effectively being abusive to everybody else on the channel and attacking everybody. So I just thought, no, I have that anymore. And besides, it's my channel, do what bloody well like, you know? If people don't like it, it's tough, isn't it? Obscura Imagery Montreal, a game I play anytime to try to converse with an American. They are quick to get emotional, yes. And logic has no hold. No, they don't. It's baffling. They don't have any, I've been following quite a few live streams, MAGA live streams, for comedy effect. all of what, I'll tell you what the effect I have found. It instills confidence in me that I'm right on it. Because what they're saying, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. There's no logic in it. And they're even trying to relay parts of the Constitution. They've got a little pamphlet, which is a really cut down version of the Constitution anyway. And they try to twist it into something that it's not. And that's exactly what Donald Trump does with the Constitution, isn't it, as well? And other laws, like this Nazi law he's trying to use to get rid of citizens, to lose their citizenship in the United States. Manipulating to suit their own agenda. That's all they're doing. Anyway, don't forget, big little like button while you're here. Now, a lot of us, this isn't just in the United States, this is other places as well. We've got a problem in the UK in that we've got the rise of a party that is going to cause a huge amount of damage politically, right across the whole spectrum. That would be the Reform Party with Nigel Farage. He's already basically killed off the Conservatives because he split the vote. And now he's... a lot of people have gone over to the Reform Party from Labour. And there's like some of these hard left numpties who hate Keir Starmer. I don't give a damn about Keir Starmer, to be honest. I'm not really interested in Keir Starmer. I don't love him or hate him. But anyway, these people who got absolutely, if they're Prime Minister of the UK, and without any understanding or realisation of the fact that you're attacking him, what you're doing is handing it over to Nigel Farage. What are you really achieving? Nothing. Not really achieving anything. So it makes no sense to me. Sometimes you have to obviously chew on what you disagree with, but it isn't. There are things a party does you might not like, but you have to look at the whole picture. Hello, Marcus. I hope you're well. What Trump doesn't realise is that American people are stronger than him. I really hope you're right. Sure, they've had it easy since World War II, relatively. However, they're waking up and they're mad. Newfoundland! Hello, Newfoundland. Yeah, I hope they are. I hope they're waking up. I really do. I've got my doubts sometimes, but the thing is, you do end up in your own bubble. Whether it be the anti-MAGA bubble, or whether it be, everyone agrees with me bubble. It's so easy to become trapped with that way of thinking. And sometimes I think you actually have to go, it's painful, and you're not going to, you need to be strong of mind, but sometimes you've got to seek it out. You've got to seek out the crazies. Otherwise, you just end up being trapped by your own point of view. You really do. Thanks, Mark, for the super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. So we need to get people educated first. I agree. So many MAGA voters had no idea how these policies affect them until it's too late. So you're not just talking about education in the sense of whether or not they can read or write. You're talking about education in the sense of understanding what how the political system works in the United States, because it's not the same as everywhere else, and from state to state, but also how, like for instance, our argument's sake, the fact that Medicaid is not necessarily called Medicaid in their state, but it's funded by Medicaid, all this sort of stuff, and also, do these people even know what system they're on half the time? Probably not. Short and simple for all to understand. MAGA is funny to laugh at, not with. Yeah. The thing that I find quite strange is they reckon that, you know, we love everybody. A lot of them said that, oh, we love everybody. Then they attack them. That makes no sense. I think it shouldn't be the case, but it is the case. It is us and them. You know, those who don't want to do harm and those that do. They are cheering from the rooftops that migrants could be eaten by alligators. They've even got a merch store for it. That is just disgrace. These people are sick, you know. The other thing about this as well, they do all this stuff, they say all this stuff without the thought that maybe it could be them. You know, Donald Trump is looking to take away their citizenship. If you give no value to Donald Trump, you have no value. It isn't a case of all lives matter, because they don't with Donald Trump. The only lives that matter are the ones that maybe buying his dollar meme, or call me whatever it is. There are even poor people voting for Trump, yeah. Now, I shared you a live stream yesterday of this guy, Berserker something or others, Berserker Patriot or something, some strange YouTuber. And I started looking at some of his videos now in the past, and none of it made any bloody sense to me. Anyway, this guy's got nothing. He reckons he lost his house in a hurricane. He's in Florida. And he looks like he's living out of his truck. And I think to myself, where were they for you? Where is Donald Trump for you? They're getting rid of all the things that probably failed before. They're going to fail even more now. They were broken before, and now they are non-existent. So they can't even be fixed. That's very true, Exotic Doll. There are even poor people voting for Trump, which is, you know, is it because they're poor and he kind of gives them hope? But I don't think they're listening to the words. I really don't think they're listening to the words. Doesn't make any sense. What do I think about Narendra Modi? I ain't got much opinion on really, but you talk about the Indian president, aren't you? But I have to admit, India's got the upper hand here. They aren't backing down with what they want. Whenever they want trade deals, they had the same with the United Kingdom, the same with the European Union, and the same with the United States. It's either their way or no way. You know, you're not gonna bully them into doing whatever you want them to do. Just like China, really. You know, you can't. There is no bullying these people. Hello, Stormtrooper. We're not all crazy. Oh, thank God for that. I'm 60, retired, and was not brainwashed by Fox News. That's because you obviously got some logic. That's all you need is logic, and you need a way of processing logic. As soon as you go down to the old rabbit hole, go down the old rabbit hole, rabbit hole, whatever it is. Like people who like, for instance, like crystals and orbs and stuff like that, and crazy stuff. Isn't real. That's when you're lost. These people are lost. I've got my doubts. There's only bringing them back until they really feel the pain, because they'll get to a point where they can't keep blaming Biden for this. I'm from Quebec. Are you a photographer? I'm a photographer as well. I've got a degree in photography. I say photography. I used to photography a lot, commercially as well. I also used to do a lot of insect photography. Using like 100 images slicing through with a microscope, stuff like that. I got a degree. I only had the bachelor's. I had the master's, just the bachelor's. That's interesting. Gary Garner says, but the pendulum is now finally swinging back from the far left culture and I fear it's going to rapidly the other way. It isn't yet, is it? You know, at the end of the day, Trump got voted in. It ain't that long ago, 6 months ago. But I hear what you're saying. The thing is, you see, when you push against something, people push back either with equal or greater force, and then everything goes fucking tits up, doesn't it? It's all very well being having leftist views, which I've got no problem with. I agree with a lot of the stuff on the left, hell of a lot of it. But it's when you push it with anger like they do on the right, I think you just lose your you lose the whole your point. It just doesn't have any weight because all you're doing is pushing hate. It's very easy to hate people who are hateful. You know, it's very easy to hate people that want to see people eaten by alligators. You know, I kind of understand that. It's quite easy. You know. No, he put a poll out, I believe, on his Twitter, and see if he get in. You know, see what the opinion is. I think I'll just say, I said I was going to do this, and everyone's going to think that I'm a coward because I haven't done it. You know, regarding as soon as this bill passes, I'm going to start the American Party. He says so. He's just putting stuff out there. He's just lost it. He's lost it. No, he hasn't, Billy. No, he hasn't. Live stream chat disabled for Royal Society talk on the sensory world of birds. What? I don't understand. It's not something to do with this channel, is it? Well, with this outfit, you can say he is woke. What is woke? I'm going to ask you that question. What the feck is woke? Have you got any idea? These people use, am I woke? Yeah, okay, I'm woke. I'm woke because I don't want to do harm to others. Obviously, you do. It's okay, is it, to feed people to crocodiles? These people who throw away this hijacked word, this term, like it's absolutely nothing. Have no idea what it means. And it's not even... As though it's an insult. For me, it's not an insult. I would rather be somebody who could be classed as woke than somebody who's willing to feed migrants to alligators or snakes. It's ridiculous. In fact, it's childish and pathetic. It's been hijacked by the right as a way to attack minority groups, to attack trans people, to attack effectively anybody who doesn't agree with them. It's pathetic. The pronoun nonsense is the stupidest thing ever. That automate revokes all your guys' smart cards. I don't give a damn about all that. I'm not interested in pronouns and shit like that. I really am not. All you're doing is you're trying to put everybody into the same bucket. We're not all in the same bucket. We all have varying opinions on pretty much everything. There's always a nuance. There's always something that... And some of it will be biased as well, you know. My views on pronouns are not going to be the same as, say, for instance, somebody who's trans, for instance, or, you know. I don't care about all that stuff. It means nothing to me. It's just words. Okay, hard left versus 800 US military bases in other countries. They only exist there in other countries because they allow them to. Those countries allow them to. What war has the United States won on their own since when? Have they? What? Independence, maybe? What you just celebrated? Didn't do too well in Vietnam, did you? Didn't do too well in Iraq, did you? Didn't do too well in Afghanistan, did you? Bollocks. Are you going to come about World War II? Well, quite frankly, many of them in Europe, including the United Kingdom, had pretty much softened the way for you. And the only reason you got involved was because of fucking Pearl Harbor. Didn't do too well there either. Didn't expect that one, did you? The problem with the United States is you have got the biggest stick. You've got the biggest stick. The problem is there's idiots holding it, wheeling it about. Fucking nut jobs. Thank you, Patero. The background looks real cool. Hello, New Zealand. Mr. Kiwi. How are you liking your new president? You got president or prime minister? I can't remember now. I think you got president, haven't you? Jacinda. I did like Jacinda. I thought she was amazing. She worked so bloody hard as well. She's not everyone's cup of tea, was she? But I thought she was pretty cool. Hard left is old guys who survived Vietnam hanging out in their basements. What? So that's just a stereotype. When you've got people understand, we're all different. Stereotypes should not really apply. It's very few people you can really bunch together like that. Screw left. All right. How about common sense? Well, that'd be centre. Fair enough. It'd be centre. I'm all for common sense. Unfortunately, it's no longer common. And as somebody who puts bits of wood together, makes joints, whether it be dovetails, haunch tenons, you name it, bridle joints, etc., etc., etc. If someone makes joints, common sense applies. They have to fit. And you have to apply common sense and skill to make things fit together. As far as I'm concerned, very few people these days have a clue how stuff goes together in nuance, in politics or in life. So narrow-minded, blinkered. It's my way or the highway. Very rarely does that work for everybody. And in the end of the day, you're supposed to have a government that is there to govern for all, not just a minority. Donald Trump wouldn't be in such... Well, his poll ratings are horrendous. If he governed for all, his poll rating would be good. But he doesn't. Because he's just a narcissist. But I'm a Canadian too, so our version of gun control, when I say a lighter, I mean more control on the illegal guns, but freer access to the sporting kinds. I really ain't got a problem with guns. I've got a problem with people holding them. There's plenty of countries out there where they've got a huge amount of bloody guns. Switzerland, for instance, they don't go around shooting people. They don't go around killing people left, right, and bloody centre. There's a massive societal problem in the United States. It's huge. It's not just obesity. It's society. There we come. And the Mad Monk. Thanks for being here, mate. You probably heard, Mad Monk, but there's a certain individual that you know who's been trying to attack me online for God knows what reason, other than the fact that I blocked him, because he's a numpty. I'm glad people around the world can get some good entertainment from our imperial implosion. It does feel like we're running out of popcorn. The shops are empty. We don't want it like this, because this is affecting us. This is affecting our trade, it's affecting our economy, as well as yours. Why would we want this? Yes, it is entertaining in many ways. Yes, you have to ask. We kind of like face palming already. What the fuck? Whatever next? This doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? You know? But it is damaging. It's damaging the European Union. It's damaging the United Kingdom. It's just damaging. And obviously Canada and all these countries that want to trade with the United States. It's damaging those countries, and it's also the United States is damaging itself. It's one massive own goal. It's if anything, it's painful to see, because it's effectively destroying the United States. You can't keep bloody taking chunks out of your GDP because you can't trade anywhere, and expect there to be free flowing money to pay for the ice. Hello, says Jemiah Knowledge. It's the second time you've been here. Nice one. I enjoyed last time, and sure will tell. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. Hi, all from Devon. Of course, I can't remember last time I've been to Devon. And that's the UK for Americans. and not the cousin you sleep with. Oh dear. I try and avoid the United Kingdom best I can. I'll try to do my bit over there in the past regarding, but people aren't listening. It takes time for it to settle into social norms. It's jarring for us because a religion has beaten binary stuff into us for 2,000 years. Yeah, but it's got worse, hasn't it? Religion has got such a hold in the United States, and this right-wing narrative is pushing religion by people that are not Christians. They just are not Christians, these people aren't. They do everything they do is against Christianity. I can say it now. I lose my voice as why. And I ain't got got nothing. Oh, crikey. I felt myalgia and it affects my vocal cords, so I have to, and I've brought nothing in there to help. That's annoying. Never mind. Never mind. So, where are we? Where are we? Alright, there we go.
America is not a Christian nation. In fact, we're doing the exact opposite of what Jesus tells us to do. Jesus healed the exact opposite of what Jesus. In fact, we're doing the exact opposite of what Jesus tells us to do. Jesus healed people, but we're cutting Medicare. Jesus fed people, but we're cutting SNAP benefits. Jesus cared for the marginalized, but we're ending USAID, a program that has saved over 90 million lives and costs each taxpayer around 18 cents a year. Jesus told us we cannot serve money and God, and yet we are giving huge tax breaks to the wealthiest Americans. Now, I know not everybody puts Christ's teachings at the center of their morality, but for those of us who are Americans and Christians, we have to really reckon with what our nation is doing right now and how flagrantly it disobeys the teachings of Christ. As a Christian, I want my government to do as much good as possible. I don't give a crap whether the 10 Commandments are in the classroom. That does not matter at all. That has nothing to do with following Jesus. It's just posturing. Following Jesus means you are supposed to give up everything. Your pride, your status, your wealth, all for the benefit of the marginalized. Being a Christian has always been about sacrifice, especially sacrifice for those who have less than you. So my hope for the 4th of July is that those of us who are American Christians would have our hearts broken open by the Holy Spirit again and again and again. That those of us in the United States might call our representatives and go and protest and do everything we possibly can to resist the Trump regime. Following Jesus means that all people should experience liberation in their body and also in their spirit. That's what the gospel is all about.
See, if it was all about that, I'd be a bit more interested, but it's not. So, he's right. Just want to say Gary Glitter. What was I just say? There we come. Don't forget to boot the old like button. And if you want your comment to be read or highlighted, there is the super chat as well. And besides, it keeps the channel alive as well, because we all got to make a living somehow, haven't we? Christianity has been hijacked by the religion doctrine, narcissism, yes, and running after money and power. Look at all these so-called preachers in the United States flying around in jets. Luckily, one pegged it the other day, so that's not so bad. But these people, they're just scam artists, aren't they? Grifters. I have a great unwavering faith in God and the values that God instilled in us since the beginning. That's your thing. And if it makes you a better person, it's none of my business, is it? You know? I haven't got necessarily a problem with people practicing religion as long as it's done in the right context and for the right reasons. And besides, it's none of my business. Like I said, it's none of my business. Why should it bother me? Shouldn't, should it? You could say I'm an atheist, whatever. I don't believe in any of that, but I believe in what he was saying on here. It's just the hypocrisy. That to me makes perfect sense. What he was saying is, hang on, you're not a Christian. Everything you're saying about the Bible, and Donald Trump's a Bible with Trump in big letters written above the Bible. It's like that was the most important thing. For the blocked troll, I liked his content style, and it's not stealing content when he adds it for free. It's stealing content. It is. That's not how it works. Sorry, you got that wrong. You see, it's not news or adding content when you're actually just using the content to hate on the one person, the individual. It's not news content. And also, it's very woolly. You need to you look into the rules regarding that on YouTube. It doesn't. No. Even if you're saying, it's for freedom of use and stuff like that, the rules behind that. If you're using somebody else's content for freedom of use, that person can still have that content removed if they're stealing your content or taking your content without permission. YouTube don't make that decision. The individual does. Sir, can you see my comment? I'm looking now. So which one you were now? Memory drifty. God, I can't get my words out there. Nope, I can't say it, so I don't know. If you want me to say it, you have to do a super chat. Sorry. This is not a bloody church. Stop it! We are talking politics. Confusing things is the reason why the entire world is in trouble. Discuss reality and not emotions. Hello, Joel. Joe, I'm going to be going through our channel and subscribers and stuff like that, because there's some individuals I'm going to be blocking on this channel. Obviously not yourself. When people steal my content and just use it to attack me for no real reason, other than the fact that I actually I didn't block that. I hid them because they're being a nuisance. But the others basically in the chat. This was ages ago, and it's happened. Oh, quite. Two individuals that this happened with, but this one decides. This particular person's decided that they're going to be making videos to just attack me for stuff they have not got a clue about. Know nothing about me, other than what I share with you. I see your point there, Joe. Fair enough. Go see. How do you Americans feel about the destruction of your scarce medical network and social aid? That's the thing, you see. When you look at, like, for instance, you're right, Joe, actually, when you look at, like, Medicaid and Medicare, or even the VA, Veterans Care and stuff like that, it is still bloody expensive. All it does is really bring down the prices of stuff. And it's like prescriptions, the fact that medications were capped under Biden, and then obviously that was removed because of Donald Trump. To bring that down, it's still expensive, you know. If you've got to pay for medications, and for some people, finding another 80 quid for insulin a month is a lot of money, and now it's like in the hundreds. So it's like it's ridiculous. But then they'll go on about, like, for instance, in Europe and the UK, it's socialist system, socialist. Oh, it can't be socialist. Communist, it is communist. What a load of fucking bollocks. It really is. Socialism does work to a degree because we live in the capitalist socialist system. We have a socialist system that is funded by capitalism. So it's kind of like no one seems to think about nuance. Like, it's either one thing or another, and in their minds, it's communist. They think about Russia and stuff, the Soviet Union. They're communist. It's communist. Can't have that. It's communist. Oh, for God's sake! These people don't have a fucking clue. Look at China, for instance. Pretty much everything that's done in China is about the people, so the people can work. The people can earn money, not a lot of money, and they're abused, But that's a capitalist system. This happens to be a capitalist communist system. It's not pure communism. Look, if you go to China, right, and you want to use the train network, they have the most fantastic trains. They're perfectly clean. There's none of this privatisation luck. No, and shares and all that sort of stuff. It's this a train network that's provided by the state. So people can get to work. People can go and see their families. People can do this. They can do that. They have a train network that works. Some of the most advanced in the world. And at the end of the day, any government that's in power is in power for the people. Otherwise, they're in power for themselves. And currently, that's what's going on in the United States. It's just Donald Trump and his lackeys trying to hold on to power and to try and skim as much bloody money as they possibly can, in this case, through the corporations involved with ICE and surveillance and data and obviously the multi-billionaires, Peter Thiel. It makes no sense to me that these people who are so poor, they can't make ends meet, they can't afford any form of health care. You could just look at the state of them and give you a fairly idea how unhealthy they are. And they're the ones who are voting for a man that who's actually holding them in that state of poverty, with that level of poverty. It's one of the problems when you have this relatively short political cycle. No one's looking far enough ahead. Yet again, in China, I'm no fan of China, but in many ways, in some ways, I am. But regarding how they treat the people in general and the Uyghur Muslims and stuff like that stuff is despicable. But they always plan ahead. Why have they got control of all the majority of the mineral deposits in the world? Well, it's because they're thinking ahead. Why have they got their foothold in Africa and in various countries in Africa? It's because they've thought ahead. It's just nuts. How many young girls have died in Texas flood? I don't know at the moment. There's about 26 that were missing. They found some and some are dead. I don't know at the moment. I haven't been following it that closely, to be honest. Not this morning, anyway. I find that sort of thing really hard to deal with. When people losing children and stuff. It's like when you see these little video clips of things in like in Gaza and the Ukraine. And you see these little kids, their family, they lost their parents. Just in tears, you know, and it's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. And then you see all these little tiny body bags, and you think, my God. You know, I do struggle with that sort of stuff. So I don't always want to talk about it, if you know what I mean. I know it goes on. I see plenty of it, but I just can't imagine it. You know. That's one of my biggest fears, because I've got a large family. I've got 6 kids, 11 grandchildren, which increases your risk of losing one. And that scares the feckin' jeebs out of me, it really does. Because what basically is, you know, the bigger the family, the more risk there is. And you don't want to be in a situation where you end up burying your grandchildren. It should be the way around, shouldn't it? So I'm doing my best to make sure it's me first. Oh, God, 13 years old. You're the youngest of 30? Oh, you're the youngest of 30? Oh, my giddy aunt. Blimey. And my family, there's only three kids in my family, so, but regarding my children, I had 6 children, so. I believe God is a woman. We don't know, don't we? The goddess I pray to is mother. Well, God, that even Zeus fan. Oh, crikey. Yeah, it's. Oh, yeah, I get. Yeah, hello though. I can't pronounce your name. Sorry, but knowledge. I'll tell you. Struggling to speak at the moment. With this fibromyalgia, what happens is I tend to build up too much phlegm. And it just sticks to my vocal cords. That's my frequency range just goes. Hey, cheers, Kiri. Yeah, please, a thumbs up. Give us a like, will you? Yeah, help the channel and that. I don't know. In some ways, I would like to believe in a God or in Jesus and stuff like that. In some ways. But in other ways, but then I sort of realise that I'm just too practical. I'm just too practical. I can't. That's not going to happen. This is a very interesting interior of a house. It's kind of like my little mocked up cabin. This here is actually, these little shingles there are actually from the roof from our barn, for which we're re-roofed. And they're chestnut, very old, way over 100 years old, and they were long boards, split from a log. And all I've done is just cut them onto the little shingles, because they're tapered, you see, the actual boards. And each one of those is actually the end of the board. And the little sign there, I just did that on my laser. I did, so... yeah, and this hair behind me is actually an old barn door. I attacked with an angle grinder with a wire brush in it. I love doing shit like this. Yeah, man. It's just you can just let rip, can't you? And just be creative. Although it is a dust trap. Looks very cosy. Feel the warmth of the wood. You can, yes, you can. So as a woodwork, obviously I love wood, and I know wood. I know a lot about wood. That's just kind of who I am. Because as a woodwork, I suppose you would, wouldn't you? Wood. Hello, Vincent Saravo. Hello, my friend. Hope you're well. MAGA wants to Americans to think that they are overwhelming in power. Yes, but the reality is that the Dems are only down. Exactly, that's a very good point. There's a very close majority, obviously towards MAGA, towards Republicans in the House. And if you do have a midterms elections, well, then they could quite quickly lose that, and they are worried about it. Hence, certain things were put in this bloody big beautiful bill, the BBB, the big bastard bill. If it wasn't removed, I still haven't checked it out. I need to look. But there's an element that was going to be in the bill, might still be there, that gives Donald Trump the right to cancel elections. Literally gives him so much power. And recently, the Supreme Courts have given Donald Trump more power. It's just unbelievable, really, what's going on. You see, whenever you give a political party or an individual more power, it's taking power away from you, removing your right, your ability to have a worthwhile vote. In Marx's other channels, like Wally Bar, in the description you can see parts of the house and of Marx's workshop and around the property. Oh, cheers, buddy. Thanks, Joe. Oh, thanks, buddy. Your house is amazing from what I see. I love the organic natural. It feels is very homely here. We're very lucky. We're very lucky. Basically, the story is back in 2008, we got hit hard with that recession, instigated by the United States. We got hit hard by the recession. So, me and the missus, what happened was I basically paid up all my debts. We sold our house. And we moved to France. We're in France, you see. And that's what we did. I had enough at that point. I'd been working very, very hard for a very long period of time, building up a business. And it seems to be you climb a hill, constantly climbing this bloody hill, making sure the guys' wages are getting paid and stuff like that. You climb the bloody hill. And it's very hard to get over the top. It's very hard. And that recession buggered me up. It really did. So we left. Me and the missus and that, and we brought some of the children with us. We left some behind. No, they're growing up. And anyway, we found this place, which was complete and utter wreck. Had a bloody great hole in the roof. I was a cow in the kitchen. And we bought a bit of extra land with it as well, for which we've been planting trees on. So it's quite an earthy place. It's an old stone building. And as a woodworker, and I was kind of forced really to think outside the box. It changed the way that I thought about woodworking, because everything I was done before was like square this, square that. You know what I mean? Everything was to fit the requirements in the United Kingdom. Come here, nothing straight, nothing. So you have to think outside the box. And we run out of money as well, so I have to think outside the box. Yeah, very true, that is, Vincent. Very true indeed. Vincent again. They need to understand the more power they give themselves, the more power they hand to the Dems in the next election win. I honestly believe that if there was an election tomorrow, Donald Trump would lose. I really do. He's proven to be unreliable. Again, you think, once bitten, you know, you think they'd be twice shy, wouldn't they? But they weren't. They voted for him again. Crazy. He has made a huge amount of promises to people. And the only one he's keeping for the MAGA is obviously this ice lug, you know, regarding immigration. But that wasn't, they didn't keep it for them. He's doing it for him because he's just a racist. He's just a racist, xenophobe, he's a very bigoted man, isn't he? And it stems back into his past. Now, I just find people like that deplorable. They're the worst in society. And they don't care about what happens to anybody, really. They just do not care. They just don't. They don't care about people. And it is such a shame. It's such a shame. The thing is, when you care about somebody, you do something for somebody, you help people out and what have you, you know, you get stuff in return, you know, whether it be affection or whether it be, you know, caring and maybe just, you know, a bit of love and all that. Well, maybe they'll come and help you next time. We used to have a thing called the barter society where people used to trade effort, you know, or trade food or trade other stuff. And now we're into this capitalist society where everything's revolving about money, and and also that connection with money has become people become a disinterest to it because now everything is just electronic, all our payments electronic, everything's electronic. There's no connection with what it is. See, when you do an hour's work, you get an hour's pay and it's in your hand and you see that physical thing in your hand, you'll be more careful with it, you'll treasure it more. But when there's some figure put in your bank and half the time you put your card in the machine and don't even look at your bank balance, and you can't, you lose that connection and what it actually means, that connection of the amount of effort that you have put in to get it. What have you had to do to get that pay? Whether it be a day's pay, a week's pay, an hour's pay, whatever it might be. There's a disconnect now. I also feel it becomes a disconnect with people because we've isolated ourselves from people. It isn't just because of the pandemic. I don't think the pandemic obviously helped. Didn't help anyone. People died and all that, you know, and there's things that had to be done. But we don't socialise as we once did. Everything's done at a distance. When we had a grievance or grumble, we do it to people's faces, you know, years ago, didn't we? Now it's like we'll put some sort of persona in front of ourselves and then attack people online because there's no comeback. There's no real threat. You know, you aren't going to get a right hook, are you? You know? Yes, we are becoming Ideological. We definitely are. I'm all about cash barter or trade. Yeah, why the hell not? We kind of do it here in France. I grow a lot of food. Whether it be tomatoes, you know, all the usual sort of summer veg, but also for the winter and that as well. Whether it be cabbages and other leafy greens and stuff. And our French friends and that, you still do a lot of barter. And they might grow something and they do a better job than us, and we just share. Well, yeah, you know, they'll leave a bag or something on our door handle, and we'll do the same to them, or knock on the door and give it to them. But, you know, it's just this exchange of goods. No money's exchanged hands. When this sort of thing goes on, you see, you need less money because at the end of the day, you did use the money to buy the stuff in the first place. And while you need more money, they have got more control of you than, you know, either the governments or the the billionaires who control the governments. When you look at people like Donald Trump and that, it's not surprising he's like the way, he is the way he is. When you think about his father, Fred Trump, I did mention in the live stream yesterday, he was arrested with KKK members in a brawl, with the police. I'm not saying he was a KKK, but the likelihood is he was. He was there, he was with them, he was fighting the police with them. And this was back in crikey, long while ago, 1927. And there was about 1,000 odd people involved in this scrap. And they're all basically these people known associates of the KKK. That's the kind of people that Donald Trump, Trump's family are. They are, yes, extreme capitalism is cruel. That is. But we live in a, I don't know if we're in, I would say we are in a extreme, well, actually, to be fair, the United States is heading for an extreme capitalist society. The fact of the matter is, though, we were a capitalist society, but we were a capitalist socialist society, really. In the day, you have systems in place that helped and protected people. And you could argue that's socialist. You got Medicaid and Medicare. You argue that's socialist. It's not particularly socialist, but it is. It was about 1927, was I thought it was. But yeah, it isn't just that. There's loads of stuff Donald Trump's been involved with in his past. And his family. And there's other individuals they were associated with, like Roy Cohn and what have you. And he got I can't remember now. He got caught falsifying evidence against army officials in court. And it didn't stop there. There's the corruption. We see the level of corruption now. And back in oh crikey. I went to the 70s. In the 60s. Fred Trump. He was investigated several times in New York for corruption. So it's in the blood, it's in the blood. Even not Pam, no, but God, the Department of Justice also investigated Donald. Oh yeah, what was I going there? For discrimination. It was investigated for discrimination. Worms out in a minute. He's such a dodgy history, this bloke has. Concrete contracts and mafia connections. I'll tell you something, we need a concrete contract that we do. And some footing somewhere, yeah. That'd be quite nice, that would, Billy. And in the United Kingdom, we need that everywhere. Get rid of some of these fucking arseholes. Like, I know, Nigel Farage, for instance. And those who fund them. Oh, did you all see what the Haitians in New York did to ICE? No, I didn't. Oh, I must have a look at that. What, did they eat the cats? Did they eat the dogs? And they eat the babies? Did they eat the babies? God's sake, people. An obscure imagery of Montreal popes are people, and some are good, and others so, and others not good people, and are never proclaimed to be saints. But the same in all societies, we're all different, aren't we? Some of us are good, some of us are bad, some of us are in the middle, some of us, when pushed, we'll shove, And then we think about it afterwards. I'm not too proud of that moment, How many times has that happened? Or has there been times where you wish you said something and you didn't? Because maybe the moment you didn't quite have the idea in the moment. You think about it afterwards. How many times has that happened to you? When someone's attacked you. Yeah, it does say a lot about Trump. Don't become. I think you said emotion is not news. I think heightened fear and uncertainty among millions of rational people is news. It was very real for people at the moment, isn't it? People are scared. But emotion itself isn't honestly news, I don't think. Depends what the end result is. Depends what the effect is. That becomes news then, doesn't it? I suppose. So whilst I find out about Trump here. Oh, fine. Just seconds. Go on there. Okay, there's one. So Donald Trump helped mafia members in Russian mafia, and laundered money. Let's not forget, obviously, crikey, what they call him in the end? They called Donald Trump, didn't they? Apparently, oh God, yes, he's on Facebook. There's this Russian guy who was in the not the FSB, the other one, said that they groomed Donald Trump. So anyway, back in 1984, a Russian mafia figure, David Bogutin, purchased 5 luxury condos in Trump Tower for $6 million, and Donald Trump is in the room with Bogutin when the paperwork is signed. State prosecutors concluded that Bogutin purchased them to launder money. So Donald Trump was involved with Russian money laundering. And to shelter and hide assets and use them on weekends for parties. In 1987, New York finds that the condos were used for money laundering to hide profits. And during the 80s and 90s, we in the United States government repeatedly saw a pattern by which criminals would use the condos and high-rises to launder money. And he says Jonathan Weiner, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for International Law Enforcement in the Clinton administration. It didn't matter that you paid too much because the real estate values would rise. Got ya. So you overpaid for it, but knowing full well it's going to rise anyway. It's a way of laundering money. And it was a way of turning dirty money into clean money. It was done very systematically. How come he's not in jail for this stuff? And explained why there are so many high-rises where the units were sold, but no one is living in them. When the Trump Tower was built, as David K. Johnson reports in The Making of Donald Trump, it was only the second high-rise in New York that accepted anonymous buyers. A high-profile place like that, anonymous buyers. It's dodgy, isn't it? It's dodgy as fuck, it really is. So, back into the chat. What are we doing there? He's not in jail as many... yeah, he's a front man. Apparently, when staying in a hotel in Moscow, Donny phoned Vlad to complain that the shower wasn't working. Right, Vlad, what, the golden shower? Teachers' unions should offer and support someone for president. Teachers' unions. Someone needs to, instead of all these celebrities. He's the second celebrity to be a president of the United States, isn't he? First it was Reagan. At least there was some actual presidency going on regarding Ronald Reagan. Whether you like him or loathe him, but just go in Trump's mouth and straight to the diaper. There we go. If he offers free healthcare, the MAGA, well, they'll explode, they will. I think any party started by billionaires will be for billionaires. What, like the American Party that's apparently going to be started by Elon Musk, if it ever happens. I think Donald Trump has just got to threaten them, and Elon Musk goes back into a little shell, doesn't he, for a bit. Trump is a power bottom. What? In the video where Trump and Epstein are standing, they're talking at one of their parties. There's another dude there with a big moustache, and the guy was a Russian gun runner. Well, I obviously wouldn't be surprised at all. Thanks, Mark. The KGB, that's it, yeah. I just had a bit of a brain fog then. Yeah, the what do they call him? It was a compromat. When they had a compromat on him. It was a KGB member that I can't remember his name there, but it was what I did a video about it as well. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There we go. Agent Krasnov. That's it. Cheers, buddy. Agent Krasnov. I think that was the nickname for Donald Trump. Yeah, compromised, and yeah, a compromat. That's what they call, the Russians call a file on him, basically. Compromising file. So yes, he is compromised, and he still is. You know, the man is phoned at Vladimir Putin, and 2 days later, for start, there's no aid, as in military aid regarding defence equipment for Ukraine, and then Vladimir Putin then attacks again with another massive drone strike. There we come. Do I live in a castle basement? Oh, thank you. No. I'll give you a little bit of a tour before I click off, because my battery's getting low now. So, all right. In this little room here, all right, which I actually built with pallets. Okay, all the walls here are built with pallets. All right, covered in chipboard, used chipboard, just stuff I've reclaimed. This door here is actually chipboard that's been framed in wood. All right, it's got sandboards on there, sandboards on there. This is actually just a piece of an old barn door. I've got the other half somewhere. These are shingles that are made from recycled wood. And this is what I was saying about using pallet wood. That's all pallet wood. This is all pallet wood. I've got to do the doors and stuff on there. Yep, that's all pallet wood. Pallet wood, pallet wood, pallet wood. All pallet wood. That's all it is, you know. And I've got this little bench here, a little vice in there, so I can do little short videos. And then I've got my lights and stuff. Me lights. This little setup here is what I use with my camera and I make my videos. Okay. Apparently I'm too lazy sitting there, making videos. So someone said, bloody idiot. And so I do my short videos here, and if I want to swing a video into it that way instead of just stealing someone's content, I'll just put it in. And then I come into this messy space, which I fix shit. This is doing me have a channel. I've got another little channel that I've just been trying to start up again, called Tinker's Lab, so I can mend stuff on here, fix stuff on there, pull stuff apart, on there, and also my aeroplanes and shit like that. And then I've got my lasers, laser. Yes, that's a windstock. Okay, that's for my aeroplanes. Another laser. Yeah, I'm collecting lasers, it seems. And then there's another laser down there, a little one down there, and then I've got a CNC machine here. There, CNC. And then if I come through here, just give me a little bit of a tour. So now we can come through to the messy area that we've got to do a load of bloody work. I ain't finished it yet, because there's shitloads to do, that's why. I'm trying to sort this area out in here, which is a real mess. This is what I used to process on my wood, you see. We used to rip all the timber up in here. That's what we used to do here on this bench. And there used to be alongside there used to be a rail saw along there, which I've put away for the moment. So got to do this space. I've got my little blackboard area here, which we're gonna for more videos later on, so just sort of demonstration videos. And then in here is my workshop, which is a bit of a mess at the moment. And this is my woodworking shop, one of got two shops like this. So yeah, so I've got my woodworking channel as well, which is Wally Bra. So yeah, it's keeps me busy. It keeps me busy. It does. So you know, doing a door down here for a customer. You see it on there. Got a bottom panel to do on that. But yeah, this is all inside the barn, which is quite a big barn actually. It's attached to the main house. So if you come over here, this is what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. It's cooled down now, so I've got to be on top here, putting some floorboards down on top of this area here. I've got the rest of the joists to go in as well, across here. So that's going to be a floor, goes over top of the workshop, then it goes over top of the other workshop over there, which is eventually going to be outside. So there's going to be a veranda on the end of the house, as money allows us to do, because we are brassic really at the moment. So that's, yeah, so we've got a load of boards we're going to be putting up there this afternoon. So I bet you see it's you know, it's quite a big barn. I've still got to do the ridge tiles on that bloody roof. Yeah. So there you go. That is this part of the building. And then if we come over here, it was very cheap, put it like that. It was a hell of a lot of work, but it was very cheap. So this is outside. Oh my goodness, rain! It's got rain! Oh, it's been so flipping hot. Okay, barefoot minutes. So that's the front of the house. That's the actual one part of the house outside. You see the jasmine there, so they're part of the house over there. So and then that is the sun goes down over there. So we've got quite a nice view. It's a bit messy at the moment because I'm sorting wood out. And we're doing our rewilding project. Oh, ouch, 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 got those shoes on. Over on that field over here, we're planting shitloads of trees. Done over 600 so far. I need to count them actually, check another count. And then we've got another field on the other side of the building, which we're also planting trees on. So there's links down below if you're interested in that. Got so much stuff to do. I just said, there's not enough hours in the day, and there I am doing live streams. This is supposed to be another little outside work area, and that's my channel, working channel. So yeah, I'm getting the camera on the road. It's been CT'd on the 18, so it hasn't been on the road for a while. But once we do, we'll start doing live streams and stuff out and about. We'll head to different places around France, so it should be quite interesting, really. You like the stonework, yeah, we've still got. It's nice. And when we first got the house, it was covered in render. And all it did is make it really damp. So it was stupid. So we just lime. I love doing stuff from that. You would line about like this. We this kind of one of the old barns. It's part of it. So we're going to build another covered area at the back of the house to protect it from the sun, because it gets way, the side facing, you see, it gets way too hot. And it's like this thing here, this area here, I just recycle everything. Whenever I can, I just use what I've got. You know, it's only an old tin. It turns upside down, so the good stuff is on the top. But then it's like all this stuff. It's all recycles. It's coming out of the old barn. My old barn. That purlin and what have you, it's just stuff I cut out of a tree, the chestnut tree. I just used it. You know, get the old draw knife out, clean it all up, and make a few joints, and you're away. Solid as a bloody rock it is. You know, just reuse what you got. And that's where all this stuff is going to come in, because we're going to do, like I say, we're going to create another one of these, a bit more uniform. The house, this is just shelter area for work under. On top of the deck there, and then we've got another space on the other side, on the north side of the house, where we congregate if it's too hot. These last few weeks it's been unbearable in the 40s, you know. 45 degrees. So bloody it's been meant to rain for 1 week as well. And it was so cool, so quite thankful for that. Really am. So anyway, yeah, that's the outside Wi-Fi. Yeah, so you can get Wi-Fi everywhere around on the land. The thing is, you have to have all these repeaters everywhere. If you don't, well, you just won't get the internet because the walls are so bloody thick. You know, this part's alright because it's all Watland Daubin, you know. But when you get the main house, especially the old house, which is this end, which is my kitchen area. Come down here. I know it's not politics at the moment, I realise that. I won't kick it off in the moment anyway, so I'm going to end it soon. So, it's like, all these are actually from an old cabinet. So I managed to get this old, really crappy cabinet. All the unit was all buggered, but the doors were nice. So I managed to reuse these very old stained glass. This door here was a load of cherry that I'd managed to get from a. Because none of this was here. I've got still a glass. Glass that's in. None of this was here. We put all this there, and that's my wife.
Are you still alive?
I'm still alive. Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm giving a tour, kind of.
Of the house?
Yes. Do you want to see the tour of that?
Let's get a bit breezy through here. We might have to do something with that opening.
All right. Okay. We're going up this soon. We're going to put some more boards down. I need to build a door, you see, because I made a hole in the wall. So between this barn and the house, you can't see it from here, but I've actually I've broke through the wall, which goes into the hallway upstairs, and there's a big hole. So any wind that comes through here ends up in the house, including bugs. So I need to build a door for that as well. Anyway, let's just share that with you, give you a little idea what's going on here, you know. I think I need to have a bit of a tidy up. I do. It's just a mess everywhere. Look. It's usually spotless in here, actually. Usually, because everything has a place, and it will do in here as well. Anyway, so back to my. See, this is the door into my little room, which I've created inside the barn. So people who think that's actually in my house, it's not. It's not even a shed. It's actually inside the barn. And then, as you can see, create this little area here, which is a really nice place to chill and read as well. If you want to shut yourself off and do a bit of research and what's going on in the world and stuff, it's actually really, really just quite nice because it's quiet. And if the grandchildren's here, I can get away. So it's not in the basement. He's just in the barn. Were you born in a barn, boy? Oh, Brimstone. Brimstone, Dragon Pete. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a long slog. We bought the place back in 2009. 2009. Moved in, started it in 2010. And it's been a long slog, and we haven't finished. Yeah, anyone says, I'm going to buy a house in France, renovate it, and we'll be in within a year. Yeah, right. You wait. Nothing's quick, I'll tell you. And when you're doing it all yourself, because I can, apart from a bit of labouring, my son helped me and stuff like that, we've gone labouring. It takes time, doesn't it? It's one pair of skilled hands, you know? And I've been in the game all my life, so it's kind of like building and construction. So it's like it was easy in some ways, otherwise it's hard. It's a learning curve because you're dealing with different materials, you know. And like I said, nothing's straight. So anyway, let's just look for the chat quickly. My sound was dropping. That's probably the wind, mate. That was probably the wind. Sorry about that. Thank you, EDG. Wind, I know. I didn't have the muff on. I should put the muff on. I haven't even got it in there, I don't think. Actually, I did. It's in the workshop. I could have put it on. There is a little wind muff that can go on there, you see. Give you the idea. That's what I'm using. So it's a little Rode microphone. And I could have put the wind muff on there, so. Yep, I'm about to go as well, because I'm going to have to get my work clothes on and get on top of the roof. Yes, it's very rural here where we are in France, in the Limousin, South Central. So, Yeah, it's lovely. It is a lovely area of France. It really is. It's green, like Canada. All right, green and trees. And we got the maple syrup though. What do we use lasers for? We use lasers for, I use them for cutting or making signs and stuff like that, or stuff like, like that. Men who respect women don't vote for a rapist. I know it's back to front for you, but stuff like that, all sorts of stuff. Cutting, I put loads of stuff on Etsy, you see. So anyway. I wish I knew more about woodwork, and I'm hopeless. It's like anything like that. Anything that's creative is a skill, and skills just have to be learned. And you have to start somewhere. You get a bit of teaching, or just give it a go. Start small, work your way up. You don't. The things you're not going to do everything straight away, are you? And my mum taught me carpentry, says Joel, and she learned her with her grandpa, and was a chief carpenter in the mines. Blimey, so that'd been a fair bit of joint work, what have you, and trussing, I suppose, to support the mines, and then obviously the shafts and all that stuff, I suppose. Rodo lights. What do you mean? These things? These are just light boxes, and they're just newer 660s lights. Same ones I've got in here as well, which gives me just about enough even light. Okay. There you come. Most men learn from their dads. Yeah, my father politically he wasn't great, but he's a bit right wing, but I can't fault his skills. He was an amazing craftsman, old school. But also he used to work with fiberglass as well, laminating, making plugs and molds and stuff like that. You see, when you build a boat, you have to build the boat first. Generally speaking, you can build a thing called a plug, and the plug is basically a positive version of the thing you want to build in fiberglass. So you basically build the boat. Usually use materials like MDF and stuff like that. Loads of 2-pack paint and filler and God knows what else. Lots of sanding and polishing. And then you make your mould from the plug, which gives you a reverse of your final product. And so then you've got your mould, and you sift it all up, and then you can take out your mouldings from that. So it'd be superstructural, all the hull and other components. Furnishing, sometimes use it for like the same system for making all the well seating and stuff like that in the front and the back of the boats. But yeah, it's highly skilled. I can't fault him for that at all. He's an amazing man. I learned a hell of a lot off him, hell of a lot. Oh, are you? You build a small home right now, and that refurbished cabinet glass is inspiring. Yes, it's the thing with a lot of the stuff you've got to think outside the box. You've got to think outside the box. You see, it's too easy just to buy everything and just screw it into place. I don't buy windows. I just make them. Even if it's just simple little, like a little tiny little window like that one there, right? Just fixed pane window with some obscure glass in it. Just really simple, really, really easy. Why would I can't really buy, and it's got to have to be made to fit anyway, because nothing's the same. It's nothing standard. So if you're building from new, it makes sense to you use what comes off the shelf, obviously, because it's cheaper. Quite often it's cheaper. My dad taught me the law. Where did that world go? Yeah. Now it's the law according to Donald Trump. Oh, I got it, sorry. LEW. Yeah, potos, the smell of seed is fantastic, and it's great as a deterrent for insects. Insects don't tend to attack cedar. Oh, Doug, let's come to that. Which isn't it's actually a pine tree. It's not a fir. Douglas fir. It's not a fir. It's a pine. That's pine cones. Oh, a potter. Nice one. The person actually building that door for through there is a potter in France. There's also interesting stuff with spices in the pottery. It's really quite clever. Cool. Anyway, thanks a lot to the Spanners for joining us today and helping us out. Much appreciated. Like I said to you earlier, Joe, I'm going to go through. I'm going to have to get tough with some people on the channel because it's just beyond a bloody joke, really. Some of it is, as you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I was going to say toodaloo, and like I say, thanks to the Spanners, Joe, and Mad Monk was here earlier as well. Yeah, so we'll see. Some people are strange, really strange, and so am I.